Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar, How Digital Print Can Help Manufacturers Fight Against Counterfeiting. I am Pamela Lee, Senior Product Manager at Lumen Dynamics, and I will be today's moderator for the session. Before we begin, I'd like to review a few housekeeping items, the first being that during the course of the webinar, we will be muting the line. At the end of the session, there will be an opportunity for Q&A, and in order to submit your questions, please use the chat box that can be found by clicking the top tab found at the center of your screen. We will try to address as many of them as possible during the webinar, but for those who we do not have the time to respond to, we will follow up later this week or next week. And lastly, an electronic copy of the presentation will also be available. This webinar will be focused on how to combat counterfeiting with digital print, the various solutions available, as well as how UV LEDs are an enabling technology in making digital print solutions reality. We have a few presenters today that I would like to introduce. To help set the stage, Marco Buer will be providing us with a market overview, product marketing and coding. Marco is Vice President at IT Strategies, where he focuses on product planning for graphics, transaction and publishing printers, and emerging industrial digital printing applications such as label printing, packaging printing, and other non-document applications. During his 20-year tenure in the industry, he has concentrated on researching applications and sizing markets for inkjet and laser printing technology, and has been a proponent for the use of digital color printing in business and industrial applications. Next, we will have Eric Penn sharing with us his perspective on counterfeiting, the challenges and solutions of various digital print methodologies. Eric is the Managing Director of Atlantic Zicer subsidiary in France, as well as Director of Key Account Management, Pharma and Cosmetics Track and Trace for the entire Atlantic Zicer Group since June 2011. After business school and military service in the French Alpine troops, Eric worked in different responsible sales positions at various companies, including Rothschild Bank, Rossignol Ski Company, and ITC. We will wrap up with John Kuda presenting information on the different curing technologies used in digital print. John is Vice President of Marketing and Corporate Development at Lumen Dynamics and has over 20 years of technical and business experience related to the interaction of light with matter. His focus is on managing the marketing team at Lumen Dynamics and building new markets. John holds a master's and PhD in physics. So now let's turn the tables over to Marco, who will start discussing the need for advanced digital printing in pharmaceutical and cosmetic packaging.
So good morning, all. Thank you for having me speak. The topic, advanced printing in pharmaceutical and cosmetics, is an interesting one for a number of reasons. As you probably all recall, a number of years ago in China, there were huge issues with scandals of drugs and baby powder and so forth being tainted. And that has led to all kinds of new regulations, not just in China, but everywhere else. If we move to the next slide, the safety issue, of course, is a hugely important one, but there's another big issue. We'll go one more slide. We'll skip IT strategies. And that is the pharmaceutical industry is an absolutely enormous industry. We estimate it's about a $500 billion industry. And if you think about the amount of money that might be lost to fraud, assuming it's maybe 1%, that means we're losing annually in the neighborhood of $5 billion a year. And so the impetus to get better control of the supply chain through better tracing and tracking of items, through the usage in part of codes, has become more and more important.